Yo, what's up guys, it's Netherlord13, welcome back to another video. Today, we're gonna be going through a subreddit called r/nosleep. This is where, authors can post their original horror stories, I guess, to the entire world. And notice I'm being really quiet. It's because my family is sleeping. It's not the middle of the night, it's 2 p.m. So anyways, let's continue. Okay, this one, it's pretty dang long. I've heard of this. It's really good. It's like it's it's award winning on this subreddit, and I just want to read it. So, yeah, there's 7 parts to this series. So, let's get it. I am a search and rescue officer for the U.S. Forest Service. I have some stories to tell. I wasn't sure where else to post these stories, so I figured I'd share them here. I've been an SAR officer for a few years now, and along the way, I've seen some things that I think you guys will be interested in. I have a pretty good track record for finding missing people. Most of the time, they just wander off the path or slip down a small cliff, and they can't find their way back. The majority of them are the old have heard the old "stay where you are" thing, and they don't wander far. But I've had 2 cases where that didn't happen. Both bother me a lot, and I use them as motivation to search even harder for missing persons when I get called on. The first was a little boy who was out berry picking with his parents. He and his sister were together, and both of them went missing around the same time. Parents lost sight of them for a few seconds, and by the time in that time, apparently the kids wandered off. When their parents couldn't find them, they called us, and we came out to search. We found the daughter pretty quickly. When we asked her where her brother was, she just told us that he'd been taken away by the bear man. She said he gave her berries and told her to stay quiet, and she wanted to play with her brother for a while. The last she saw of her brother was riding on the shoulders of the bear man, and seemed calm. Of course, our first thought was abduction, but we never found a trace of another human being in that area. The little girl was insistent that he wasn't a normal man, but tall and covered in hair, like a bear, and that he had a weird face. We searched that area for weeks, and it's one of the longest calls I've ever been on. But we never found a trace of that kid. The other was a young woman who was hiking with her mom and grandpa. According to her mother, the daughter had been climbing a tree to get a better view of the forest. She never came back down. They waited at the base of the tree for hours, calling her name before they called for help. Again, we searched everywhere, and we never found a trace of her. I have no idea where she possibly could have gone. But neither her mom or her grandpa saw her come down. Ooh, that's something. A few times I've been out on my searches with a canine, and they've tried to lead me straight up cliffs, not hills, not even rock faces, straight sheer cliffs with no possible handholds. It was baffling. In those cases, we usually find the person on the other side of the cliff, or miles away where the canine has led us. I'm sure there's an explanation, but it's sort of strange. Ooh. One particularly sad case involved the recovery of a body. A 9-year-old girl fell down an embankment and got impaled on a dead tree at the base. Ooh, not good. It was a complete freak accident, but I never forgot the sound of her mother made when we told her what happened. She saw the body bag being loaded into the ambulance, and she let out the most haunting, heartbroken wail I've ever heard. It was like her whole life came crashing down around her, and part of her died with her daughter. I heard another SAR officer say that she killed herself a few weeks after it happened. She couldn't live without the loss of her daughter. That's heartbreaking. Oh my, that part's so sad. Oh my. Like, everybody knows that their moms and dads love them. Just imagine giving birth to a child, raising them for like 9 years or so, then they just get snatched away from you. They just go away. That, I can not even imagine that. That would be painful. I teamed up with another SAR officer because we'd received reports of bears in the area. Bear man? We're looking for a guy who hadn't come home from a climbing trip when he was supposed to, and we ended up having to do some serious climbing to get where we figured he'd be. We found him trapped in a small crevice with a broken leg. It was not pleasant. Yeah, you break your leg, it's not gonna be pleasant. He had been there for almost 2 days, and his leg was obviously infected. We were able to get him into a chopper. I heard that one of the EMTs said that the guy was absolutely inconsolable. He kept talking about he'd been doing fine, and when he had gotten to the top, a man had been there. He said the guy had no climbing equipment. He was just wearing a parka and some ski pants. He walked up to the guy, and the guy turned around. He said he had no face, just blank. He freaked out, and he ended up trying to get off the mountain too fast, and which is why he'd fallen. He said he could hear the guy all night, climbing down the mountain, letting out these horrible muffled screams. The story bothered the heck out of me. I'm glad I wasn't there to hear it. Ooh. One of the scariest things that have ever happened to me involved the search for a young woman who had gotten separated from her hiking group. We were out until late at night, and because the dogs had picked up her scent. When we found her, she was curled up under a large rotting log, and she was missing her shoes and pack, and she was clearly in shock. She didn't have any injuries. We were just able to get her to walk back to the base with us. Along the way, she kept looking behind us and said that big man with the black eyes was following us. We couldn't see anyone, so we just wrote it off as some weird symptom of shock. But the closer we got to the base, the more agitated this woman got. She kept asking me to tell him to stop making faces at her. At one point, she stopped and turned around and started yelling into the forest, saying that she wanted him to leave her alone. She wasn't going to go with him, she said. She wouldn't give us to him. And she wouldn't give us to him. Sorry. I'm not a good reader, so I'm sorry about that. We finally got her to keep moving, and we started to hear these weird noises coming from all around us. It was almost like coughing, but more rhythmic and deeper. It was almost insect-like. I don't really know how else to describe it. When we were within sight of base ops, the woman turned to me and her eyes about as wide as I can imagine a human could open them. She touches my shoulder and says, "He says to tell you to speed up. He doesn't like looking at the scar on your neck." I have a small scar at the base of my neck, but it's mostly hidden under my collar. I have no idea how the woman saw it. Right after she says it, I hear a weird coughing right in my ear. And I just about jumped out of my skin. I I hustled her to ops and trying not to show how freaked out I was. But I have to say, I was really happy when we left the area that night. Yeah. 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 Like, reading that, I got chills. Like, I just, like, felt, like, tingling in my spine. That was so weird. Like, here's the thing. Like, like, for some reason, like, I am horrified. Like, there are two things I'm scared of. The dark and the things in the dark. Those are the two scariest things in the entire world. Fight me. And spiders. I don't like spiders. Like, those three things, I will run. Like, I'm a Boy Scout, and I've been on camping trips where, like, walking around in the dark, it gets scary. It does. It does. Sometimes. Sometimes, like, when I'm reading, like, scary things and, like, I just, like, have to have my back up against something because, like, here's the thing. I would rather be my back up against a wall, knowing that there's nothing behind me, than be, like, out in the open and not know if something's behind me, because that is horrifying. Like, if I have something on my back, I know that, like, nothing's behind me. Like, if I'm, like, scared, I'll just get up against a wall. Like, you hear a spooky noise and I'm in my bedroom, which is where I am right now, I'll just slam my back on the, like, on my, bed. It's, ugh. This is the last one I'll tell. It's probably the weirdest story I have. Now, I don't know if this is true in every SAR unit, but in mine, it's sort of an unspoken regular thing we run into. You can try and ask about it with other SAR officers, but even if they know that, even if they know what you're talking about, they probably won't say anything about it. We've been told not to talk about it to our superiors, and at this point, we've all gotten sort of used to it. That doesn't change that it doesn't even seem weird anymore. Oh, just about every case where we're really far into the weird wilderness, I'm talking 30 or 40 miles, at some point, you'll find staircases in the middle of the woods. It's almost like if you took the stairs of your house, cut them out, and put them in the forest. I asked about it on the first time I saw one, and the other officer just told me not to worry about it. It was normal. Everyone I asked said the same thing. I wanted to go and check them out, but I was told very emphatically that I should never go near any of them. Just sort of ignore them, and now when I run into them, sorry. I just sort of ignore them when I run into them, because it happens so frequently. I have lots more stories, and I suppose if anyone's interested, I'll tell some of them tomorrow. If anyone has theories about these stairs, or if you've seen them too, let me know. Hi, this is post recording me. So basically, I ran out of time for recording this video. There will be a part 2 coming up next week. Be sure to watch that. And yeah, there will be more. Leave a like if you want to see more content like this. And also, I want to say I'm really sorry about my stuttering in this video. I have that problem a lot, and I'm really sorry about it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please do show us some love on that like button and in the comment section. Let's see this video get 15 likes. Leave a comment down below what if you liked the series, or recommend me some scary stories I should read next, creepypastas or whatever. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Goodbye.